Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Stella and Brandy, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your little baby's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands. The correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Brandy is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and she keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in her right hand. That leaves her left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give here at school is a gentle tug and release on the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Stella is going to come home with her very own training equipment. You're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session today. Now, Stella is sitting beautifully at Brandy's left like a little statue, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Stella, heel. Now, heeling may look like an easy exercise, but actually it's one of the most common complaints that I get from my owner is that my dog or puppy doesn't walk properly on a leash, trips me, zigzags in front of me, drags me down the street. And if you notice that each time Brandy stops walking, Stella has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So if you're on the street and you stop to cross traffic or you stop to talk to someone, she should be sitting nicely at your left and waiting for her next command. So remember, Stella, heel, happy voice. She stays right next to your left leg. Her shoulders should not pass your left leg when you're walking with her. She looks up at Brandy. She's very nice and focused. She's still a puppy, but she's doing a great job. Nice automatic sit. Brandy's going to leave her in a stay. Now, your sit stay, you can practice right indoors. Make these commands a part of your everyday. You're going to start out at about 20 to 30 seconds, and you're going to slowly work up over the next several months to a 3-minute long sit stay. When Brandy returns back to her, she walks all the way around her. She quickly gets back to her shoulders, back where they started, and at this point, Stella expects to get another command. So Brandy told her to heel again. And with those sit stays, you're developing self-control, you're developing focus, you're developing maturity. What are you doing? Brandy leaves her in another sit stay. She walks out to the end of the leash and she turns to face her. And as you progress with this, you're going to be able to drop your leash, you're going to be able to eventually leave the room and come back. And that's your goal. Now this time, instead of returning back to her, Brandy's going to use her name and she's going to demonstrate the come on command. It's Stella, come, happy voice, and Stella comes right in and sits, and then Stella returns back to heel and back sitting. So everything starts and stops at that heel position. When puppy is sitting next to your left leg, you have to tell her what you want her to do. If you start walking, she's going to start walking. So if you want her to stay, you have to say it. And that's why we give you this instructional video, so you can practice at home with your video. You want her to hold it for as long as it's comfortable for her, and then you want to add 5 seconds a day. And Brandy's going to use her name and call her in. And she comes right in and sits, and Brandy tells her she's a good girl, and then she goes back to heel and back sitting. She's doing a really good job today. Now the next series of commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are your down commands, and these probably get the most use in your house. Practice right in your living room. So with the dog, this is the down from a heel position. So with her seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. Now the down stay, they usually will hold for longer, so you want to start out at 30 to 45 seconds and slowly work up to 5 minutes. Again, this is a self-control exercise, and if they're doing a 5-minute long down stay, they're going to be asleep at the end. When Brandy returns back to her, she quickly walks around her. Stella remains lying down. She's waiting for her next command, and Brandy heels her right out of that. She's a very smart young lady. Remember, always have your puppy seated before you attempt to put them into a down.
Stay.
It's down and stay. Brandy walks out to the end of the leash again and turns to face her. She makes her hold it for a few minutes. It's cold outside this morning, so we're not making her hold it too long, and that's why I do recommend that you practice indoors also for house manners. This time Brandy will call her out of that. She's a superstar. Back to heel and back sitting. What a good girl. And look at that eye contact. That's great. And if she starts to trail off, Brandy gives that little gentle correction, tells her no heel, gets her back focused. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is your down from a distance. This is a little bit harder because you're not right next to the puppy. You're going to leave her in a sit stay. You're going to turn to face her. This is the only time that you use your right hand to give the command, and you're going to drop her into a down from a distance, down and stay. So we have lots and lots of written material to go over with you when you come today. We want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company. We've had a great time with Stella. She's a sweetheart. We wish you a happy life with your little girl, and we'll always be here for you. And thank you again for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.